There we go.
There you go.
Happy
So
Friday,
I guess
everybody.
it's wonderful. Well, happy Friday. I've been watching you, and I've got to say, I love the lake. I love cottages.
Oh, and so I wish we could sometimes just go on and probably will just wax lyrical, because I mentioned to you yesterday that I had just gone for a swim in the lake and I learned something new about you. I didn't know that you don't love swimming in the open water.
No.
What about you, Karen?
Yes, I love the ocean. You can put me out in the middle of the ocean and I'm happy.
I
is
love
ocean different than
floating
lake?
in the ocean.
Oh,
Okay.
lake too, but yeah, I love the water.
I
Scuba
love
diver.
water. My problem with it is I have fears of what I don't see underneath my feet. And I would imagine if I ever did a past life thing, if I ever went there, I probably drowned in a past life because I have that fear, but I love it. So I overcome it. But I love to float and but
Weightlessness. Yeah,
Hawaii has beautiful places to do that.
definitely.
And,
okay, on task. Here we go.
You know what? Thank you very much for joining us today and talking about rich thinking to grow. Many, many years ago, I've been studying Think and Grow Rich forever, but many years ago, I really got it, that it was not only about, no, I'm not going to say that. When you look at the book, Think and Grow Rich, I've been involved in conversations at the foundation. And the question is, what is the secret? Is it the thought and the thinking? Is it the money and the rich, or what is rich? Or is it the growth? That's something to ponder on and wander in your mind. For me, I've got an answer. I'll share.
I've got an answer.
Oh, let's go, Karine.
Mine is, and mine is not giving up. It really is crystal clear to me that people achieve their goals. Those that achieve their goals achieve them because they don't give up.
So do you think the secret, and you can't answer it yet, that's what I'm realizing, but at the end of the book, when you're ready, it's going to pop off the page. And where people are seeing pop consistently off the page is think, grow, and rich. In every chapter, they refer to those three. So it's very interesting.
Can I jump in and say something though? I think it's important to differentiate the word rich the same way that at Sage we differentiate wealth. It doesn't necessarily mean dollars and cents.
And he actually says that. He says that.
Does he? See?
Love that you
But
brought that up.
I'm pointing out, I am on chapter 3, faith. So I'm not near the end yet. I have a ways to go.
Well, you know what? Today.
See, Karen, you know the secret. So while Catherine's getting her props, we can't ask you the question.
What I wanted, I was trying to get a note from earlier. Well, part of that recipe was actually not mentioned. I think a huge part of that recipe is feeling it.
Yeah, the emotion, right?
Yeah.
I learned that. That is key. You can't just have a goal. You have to have an emotional motivation with the goal.
Applying emotion to the feeling, to the goal, to the desire. It's not just, it's the, okay, and we talk about burning desire. It's
burning
not a desire. It's not a wish. It's a burning desire. And that burning desire implies, in my opinion, feeling it.
Yeah.
His opinion as well. And I find it interesting because, you know, I'm writing a test and the questions are so hard. They're not that easy. And it's not a direct thing. He's not going to say the secret is feeling it. He's not going to say this, and there's a book on that, by the way, but he's not going to say that. Feeling is the secret is a book, actually. But he does say this in the beginning. And we spoke about it actually on another live we did, and I thought you would appreciate it, where he refers to riches, the 13 steps towards riches, and they are not always measured in money. So it is actually, it's not. However, when the thing is all of them combined make success, but every step of the way, he's asking you, when you find the secret, to turn over your glass because you got it. And I'm going to say that there's diverse opinions on that, what that secret is. Wouldn't it be wonderful? I think I'm going to ask his grandson, Dr. Hill, I'm going to ask whether he ever had that conversation with his son, his grandfather, because I'm too curious now. So I've heard from people that study it, like religiously, like a Bible, that they think his secret is think. It's all whatever you think. I've heard other people say it's about rich, and not rich in money, but rich. It's about his secret is rich. And I've heard other people, very few, believe it's growth. And for me, when I read this, it's growth for me. But I'm going to ask, I'm going to be back with that. So for today, over the last few weeks, we've been speaking about the chapter, the first step towards riches, desire. And we've been really diving deep and focusing and trying to apply those, the desire for riches as they're transmuted into financial equivalent. That's what we're looking at for now, which is in that chapter. We'll cover a lot more, but for now, and we covered 4 of the 6 practical steps that he refers to. So we've covered 1 to 4. And it's interesting that step 5 is really about putting it all together. And this is where you write it down. And for me, it's about one of the key C's, one of the 4 C's we speak to at Sage Navigation, which is commit. I think writing it down is a commitment to yourself. We haven't talked about it before. And I know, Karen, you're going to dive into the content of step 5. And I thought it was interesting. That just came to me, even though I've been looking at this for a while.
Before it goes to Karen, I'll say writing it down and signing it. Signing it makes it feel very official to me. Dating and signing. Anyways, over to you, Karen.
Yes. So I'm going to read straight out of the book. Step 5. Write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition. State what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. This step is the summary of the 4 steps, but in writing. So we talked about all of the things that are mentioned in there in the previous weeks. You can go back into the videos that are in the feed of Dockside for a refresher if you want to look at it and to review each of those individual points. The difference is today, we're writing them down. So briefly, step 1, the amount of money that I'm going to add, demand it. Step 2, what you intend to give in return for the money. The person who's receiving it is the one who determines its value. Step 3, a date. No changing the date. The date is fixed. Step 4, a definite plan. And that's a high level view. So you don't have to step by step it. If you want to do a step-by-step, you don't go into great detail. Because why? We don't worry about the how. So it's a high-level view. All of this is the start of your goal card. Anything that anybody wants to go over or talk about more in depth?
Well, I can just say I found the date a little bit confusing when I was going through this for the first time, because first of all, is it today's date that I'm making the commitment? I know it really is the date of when we want this to occur or come to a close or achieve. So Katherine, do you want to talk, or Karen, do you want to explain a little bit more about the date? Because I did find it rather confusing. And also the part that it doesn't move. So what if I say I want it by next Friday, and I focus on it every day, and I read it 3 times in the morning and 3 times at night, and I carry my goal card with me every day, and I feel it with emotion. I do all the things I'm supposed to do, and Friday comes along and I don't have it.
Because if you change your date, you confuse the universe to say, well, do you really want it? Because you're flip-flopping. So if you know what you want, that's the number one thing. The date is important, that you keep that date. You keep pushing towards it. It will come when it's ready to come to you and when you're ready for it. And that's probably the more important thing, that you're ready for it. And I think that's exactly what Napoleon Hill said, is the wealth will come.
Well,
Kim, you're
As
going to
one of
help
my
me with
sticky
this one.
notes, I don't know if you can see it, but it says
Yeah.
no one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it.
Yeah, prove that
Yeah.
his formula will work for all who are ready for it. It actually says it in my book. It's in the preface, author's preface. It's on page 9, but I got a really old version of the book. So it's there and it's right at the beginning. So you have to be ready for it. So that's the thing. But do not change your date. So no scratching it off on your goal card, no changing it around, push, and it will come to you when you're ready. And you know what? Getting ready for it is doing all that stuff. Kim, you're on mute. What do you have to add?
I would even add, yes, that's so on point about the universe. And again, that you're ready. But there's another step here that is invisible, that we often doubt ourselves. And in the book, you know, the story that they almost get, we talked about it this morning, actually, they almost give up. They almost gave up. And he did give up, because in his head, he had a date. I'm getting that gold out of that mine on that day. And he didn't get it on that day. So he gave up and he sold the mine. And he was 3 feet from gold. And if you give it the time, there's something missing that you aren't ready. There's something more you need. It may be a partner. It may be because if you did get it right now, you would lose it. You don't want to lose it. The universe knows when it's best for you to get it. You would lose something that you're not ready to lose potentially. You know, they'll say you'll get off the highway and you know you don't have time. And I'll speak to a story. Driving down the 401, I was going to Coburg and we really wanted to get there. We wanted to see the family. We wanted to do things. And my son had to go to the washroom. He was young. And normally we'd say, oh, we're 10 minutes away. We're 10 minutes. We're 20 minutes away. We'll wait. But this day we listened to him and we got off the highway. And I didn't want to get off the highway, but I got off the highway. My life was saved that day because I got off the highway. So the thing is imagine you want something. And it could be something little. It could be that I want to go to Italy. Okay, I want to go to Italy. That's on my goal. I want to do it. And my date that I want to go to Italy is February 6th, 2024. But that same day, one of my best friends needs me for something. And they're going to call me. I don't know that. The universe knows that. And I have to be there to answer because I'm going to save her life. Now imagine if the universe didn't pay attention to my whole world and my whole, that's why we do a vision map, looking at the whole thing. Sometimes something is happening for you, not to you, and something is being delayed. So then it doesn't mean, oh, I didn't get to go, I'm never going to get to Italy. No, there's a reason it's happening, and it's not for us to ask. We have to have another key thing that we'll talk about from this book, faith. Faith that it's coming. Faith that it's going to come in the timing that we can deal with it. And yeah,
sorry.
go, Karen. No, Karine, go. Don't.
No, I was just going to say, it was my number one favorite thing that I've learned because it is soothing and to know that the universe is unfolding exactly as it should. So meaning when good things happen, they were supposed to happen, meaning when not so great things happen, there is still a greater meaning as to why those things are happening. And speaking just as far as like the date and setting your goals, knowing that the date arrives, your goal has not come to fruition. That is exactly how the universe was supposed to unfold, because there's something missing or there's something else that's supposed to happen first, but that you don't give up. And that is
something better. How
possibly
about
something
you
even better.
thought you wanted a trip to Italy and you've just 1 week later are taking a trip to Greece and Italy because you waited that extra week. It's not that you're not getting something. You're going to imagine Sage Navigation not divvying up all the pillars because we were just going to do vision mapping at a whole. I wouldn't have ended up right now with Napoleon Hill Foundation. I wouldn't have been focused on my mental wealth. I would have had a dream of it, but it wouldn't have been the depth that I've put into it. So that was delayed. And I think for the better. And when you talk about the gold card, and we're going to dive into that next week, but I have my Bob Proctor gold card and I have my other gold card. You see, this is the one, my big goal, my big in the middle of my vision map that I'm going after. And this, there's a whole process, which we're not going to derail the Think and Grow Rich today.
Yeah.
But this is in my wallet. This is as good as any credit card in there that I need to book the hotel and anything else. And this is dated. And this is what I want. And it's exactly on that form of what it is. But I did a lot of work before I came up with this. And that's what we'll share as we go. You will change the dollar on your card. You'll change the date. Because when you get clarity for what you really want in life, your dollar value, you've estimated, you know that guesstimate, I think you're going to need about 20,000 to remodel the kitchen or the bathroom. And then all of a sudden you go into details and you find out they have a sale on the stuff I need. It's only 10. Or you find out that you've just made a friend that's a contractor and you're doing a bartering thing and you don't need money at all because you're going to be doing their marketing for them in some way and they're going to do your kitchen. What? Or you find out that it's going to be double the price so you won't have enough money with what you put. Whatever is happening, you're going to look at your whole picture of your life and you're allowed to change the number up or down. And I think you're going to find out that your dream isn't big enough. Spend enough time in this world that we're living in, you're going to find out that you can dream a lot bigger. That's what I would add to that. So this is just the starting. It's not only the first step. I'm saying that when your baby crawled, I want you to remember the moment you had your child and they were crawling on the floor. And now I want you to imagine your child running or skating in hockey or whatever, they're swimming. They're much faster than you'd ever be. And when they took the crawling steps, that was a big moment for me. When they took that walk-in step, that was a big moment. Now it's just part of his life and he's racing and it's fabulous.
I think you said something really important there, Katherine, and that is there's work to be done. And I think, I know, it's not just setting your goal card. It's not just, which is work, by the way, it's not just talking about it. It's not just thinking about it. You actually need to take action, which requires thought, which requires work. And I will say it's a lot easier to do when you're amongst people that are on the same page. We used to say like-minded people, and you've actually got me second guessing that phrase. And not that I'm not a fan of it, but it is used so much that people forget. It sounds like we want everybody to think the same way. We don't. It just means that everybody has similar interests, goals, aspirations, things they want to do with their lives. And when you're amongst other people that are like that, it's frankly a little bit easier to keep moving forward toward yours because there's other people around you. It's like, running a marathon. You don't do it by yourself.
You brought up something interesting because I do have a major goal card. And we all know that. That's close to me. Anybody close to me even knows what that goal is. But Napoleon Hill says you shouldn't share that goal so easily with everybody.
I know. It's hard for me.
And there's a reason he says that. Because when you're in your community of people that know this works, they're not going to tell you you can't do it. And you're not going to have self-doubt. Whereas the people that love you are going to have many reasons. You'll have the ones that are jealous. You'll have the ones that care so much about you, they're afraid what it'll do if it doesn't come because they don't believe in it. But you don't have to worry about that. That's not your issue. But I want to share that recently I've had to focus and add to my thing. And I haven't even shared this with either of you, but there's a stumbling happening somewhere in my life. Not for me, but for somebody very close to me that will impact me. So therefore, I've had to focus on a mini goal. For some, they think it's a big goal. For me, it's a mini goal. But I want it very clear that the person did the work. The person deserves the money. Now deliver the money by this date. I don't ask. I love the word that you said, demand, because the universe loves orders. They love order and orders. If you just say, can you please give it to me? When the 50-cent girl, and Karen, you were about to share that this morning, I stopped that. So why not share it in this community, the 50-cent story, that thing, because it's so valuable.
Yeah, so it relates to the story we talked about this morning with Darby, who was in his workshop, and one of the workers' daughters came in, and she was just a small girl, and her mom needed 50 cents. Now we're talking back in 1937, around that time. So the 50 cents was a good amount, and she needed that 50 cents. And he said, yeah, I'll get it to her. Yeah. And the little girl wouldn't leave. And he turned around and he was quite cross. And she would not leave without it. And she told him, you must need that 50 cents. And he finally turned around, and instead of smacking her like in the way of those days or kicking her out or whatever, he took the 50 cents out of his pocket and he gave it to her because he knew she was not going to leave. So that's determination.
Yeah. And that's what we need. That's what we need. We need to demand of the universe the same way that young girl demanded from that man. She wasn't going to accept no. I don't accept no. My things come. I still do my big goal. I don't lose track. I'm not distracted. I've just added another thing to my day. The universe.
I want to talk next week or one of these weeks about this not disclosing the goal, because of twofold. One, I understand why they say, people who care about you might try to protect you, and you don't want anybody to be hurt or that's their doubt. If you're so confident, then why would you allow their thoughts to enter into your path? But the other thing is, just like what you were saying, that if you are demanding it, if you are so focused, so clear, why wouldn't you?
Get it?
As we say, why wouldn't you live as if? Why wouldn't you? And if you live as if, people around you are going to hear about it. They're going to see it. They're going to feel it. Like, I don't know. I don't think we have enough time to do it today, but it is an interesting concept. And also people like me who overshare have trouble.
But you're living in a world of people that aren't all positive. Why aren't all people positive? We're living in a world where it's so easy when somebody's walking in the street that you see a woman walking with 3 bags and they're too heavy, to just be so busy that we don't notice they need our help. We're living in a very immediate gratification, busy time that we're unaware. We're actually programmed like robots. We're going to walk now. We're going to the grocery store. I need this list. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go. That everything on the route, we're missing sometimes. So when we share it with somebody that's on their journey, maybe they just lost in the stock market yesterday, money. Maybe they just got a call and have to pay a loan they weren't expecting to pay. Maybe they have a poverty mind, that their mind is poor. This is about them, not you. They don't know any better. Maybe subconsciously they haven't cleaned the weeds in the garden that we talk about. Maybe their garden is a little bit messy with a lot of weeds. So whatever's happening is their thing. And what you don't want, Bob Proctor used to say, He doesn't want it because it's contagious. He doesn't want, it's contagious. Like if you go out to seaweed, it just starts and it goes. It's contagious. So if you don't want somebody else's opinion, to influence you, and whether you like it or not, we all know about the subconscious, whatever you hear is going to seep through. And then you have to have the job of clearing it out. Don't get distracted. Keep your focus on getting what you want. Don't keep your focus on eliminating the crap other people are giving you. And don't blame them. The people will join you on your journey. And I can go to Gandhi. I can go to Martin Luther King Jr. I can Dr. King. I can go to myself. I can go to Jesus. I can go whatever way you want to go. They had movements and they didn't focus on the people that weren't marching with them. Stick to the message and march. A few will come in your way and they'll get curious and you'll want to share because you'll trust. Give them the chance. Slowly. If they give you negativity, you've just delayed yourself a week because you're going to have to unprogram the crap they delivered to you. So you can either avoid the unprogramming, or you can just say, I'm not ready for the negativity going to come my way. It's great if they give you positivity, but you don't need them to get where you're going. And if somebody wants to share it, I used to say in real estate, and you'll appreciate this, Karine, I hope it helps you and helps the community. I didn't know the difference, right? I was like what Bob calls unconscious competent. I didn't know that you can't have, imagine downtown Toronto, that you have 3,000 feet of their big 200,000 foot building and you want top of the building signage. So my first transaction looking for top of the building signage for BDC, no problem, I'm going to ask for it. And my colleague said to me, are you crazy? And they started to talk and I stopped them. I said, please, please, please don't tell me that I can't get it. I may just believe you. I may just believe you. And that's the point. You don't want to believe them, but somebody smarter than you in whatever you're wanting to do that you respect is going to tell you. And you know they're experts in their field. And when they tell you, I don't know what you're thinking. What are you on today? Like, really? Like, come on, you know better. You were the editor-in-chief at Chatelaine. You know that can't work like that. So you're going to sit and say, I was the editor-in-chief. You're right, maybe. And you're going to doubt. And that is the beginning of the delaying of what you're getting. They don't mean, like they didn't mean to tell me that I couldn't get top of the building signage. So let's end that story. I shut them down respectfully. And I got top of the building signage with 3% of the building for BDC in Vancouver, downtown on Robson and Brewer, that everybody told me is impossible. Didn't tell me before, told me after. They told me, you can't get that. Well, read the document, I got it. Or visit Vancouver, it's going to be up there in a few months. So when you don't allow people to tell you what you can't do, you're like the girl. Nobody told her she's going to not get the 50 cents. They come your way when you start delivering things that they don't expect. And some will come and say, how are you doing it? Then they're ready. Yeah, sorry, I don't know. It just so much comes. Life is a wonder.
That is a wonder. What is your saying? La vie?
La vie, c'est une merveille.
Love it.
Merveille. Life is a wonder and a wonder. Yeah.
Karine, can you say that?
No, I don't.
You must have a beautiful French. I'm
I do
sure you
not.
do. You
I
don't?
have studied, I've studied French all the way through first year university, and I can read French. I can understand some. I really can't speak French. All my kids can. I can repeat a little bit, but when I see the word merveille, I think merveilleux, which is a different word.
Merveilleux. Yeah, no, it's a different word. I could see.
Yeah, but she said
I
merveille.
can hear you speaking Parisian French. I don't know. Maybe that's the next version of you in the future.
I can live it. I can live the Parisian French.
After you've lived it, you're going to be speaking it.
That's my favorite word is merveilleuse.
I know. It's so good.
So on that note, Karine, we didn't talk about Monday.
Oh, Monday, my goodness. Okay. We just have to. We have to because it's the last time we're doing this. So those of you that are regulars in our community are probably tired of us talking about Feed Your Mind, which is Monday at noon. Those of you who are not seeing us all the time, we're talking about it a lot because it's the last time we're going to be offering this workshop, this webinar, possibly forever. We're going to see, because we have so many things that we want to do. We're already planning out the rest of 2024. And if we have time to fit it in, we're going to do it. But we have a lot of other things that we want to do. So Feed Your Mind workshop on Monday at noon. You have to go to our website, sagenavigation.ca, to register, because you won't get the link to join us. We're live. We're doing it live. You can't get it afterwards. We're not going to be posting it on our YouTube channel, which if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that. This is a once, I'm going to say once and done. So come over and join us. It is so interesting. We were doing something this morning, the three of us in a community, and I was saying, we all know how important it is to feed our bodies, particularly when we're pregnant, the right nutrients, the right foods that make us feel good and we are at our physical best. When was the last time you stopped to think about what you were feeding your mind to make sure it's working at its best capacity? And for those of you who are like me, getting a little up there in the age, recognizing that genetics may be at play, knowing what your mind is capable of and encouraging it to stay that way is very important. So we would love to see you on Monday at noon, and you can learn more and you can join in the conversation. That is the best part about these types of workshops that we do. You get to be with us. We want you to be asking questions. We want to be hearing from you, and we want you to learn and to help us learn more as well. Oh, you're on mute, Katherine.
Very soon on Monday, we're going to, okay.
No, you're good now.
We're going to talk about book club, but maybe I'm going to say a quote from the book we're reading, and Karen, maybe you can talk about the book of the month next month that will start in September, because we always suggest in our newsletter a book of the month, but there's more than that. But I'm going to say my last words today comes from a book, and Karen Postema will share what the book is, but it comes from a book, and I sincerely share this. So I want you to hear what I have to say. And anybody that knows me knows I want big things, big things. So what I want for myself, I want for everybody. And what's the name of the book I got that from, Karen?
The Science of Getting Rich.
Yeah.
The original classic, and it's written by Wallace D. Wattles. When I have gone in and looked for quotes and looked for inspirational stuff, so many of his things popped out at me. I bought myself a whiteboard and put it up in my kitchen. And every time I walk into my kitchen, I see those quotes. And so I haven't read this book yet. I'm going to go and pick it up today, or I will order it today. But I'm looking forward to this.
And for clarity, it's the science of getting rich, not the signs of getting rich.
Because I say it very fast, and Karine always heard the signs. But you know what? The whole book is filled with signs of getting rich, by the way.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about book club, and you don't want to miss it on Monday. And I'm going to answer Karine's question. So if you haven't heard the live yesterday in Dockside, she asked a very interesting question. And I look forward to sharing my answer on Monday.
Sounds good. See you then, guys.
Take care. Happy Friday.
Bientôt, merci.